Okay, hello. So I'm not doing a book review at the minute. I just want to talk a little bit quickly just about the importance of careers advice for young people at school age. I think this is something that is really drastically overlooked. It's something that I'm really passionate about, is helping young people get as good advice as possible from a young age. Helping people to understand that you don't have to go down the academic route. You don't have to be really good at GCSEs and really good at A-levels and then go into university and get the best paid job you possibly can from that. If you want to do that route, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do and you're sure about what you want to do, even if you're just sure you want to go to uni, that's fine. You don't even have to necessarily get a degree that's going to help you get a job afterwards. If you accept that and you realise that, you can then go and do something afterwards and whatever. So I'm not writing off going to university whatsoever. I'm just trying to make the point that people or children are kind of told from a very young age by their teachers, by their parents, that that's what they need to do. They need to work hard in school, they need to be academic, they need to get their results. And of course, that's, the advice, I would give the advice that you need to work as hard as you can in school and do as well as you possibly can. But people mature at different ages, and just because you might be a D grade student in school doesn't mean that after a few years out in the world of work, you might find that suddenly you are more interested academically. You might find that you take classes or that you study again and actually suddenly you're an A grade student. So it doesn't necessarily follow. Also, just because you're intelligent doesn't mean that you have to do A-levels and go to university. Teachers get very caught up quite often, not all teachers, but a lot of teachers get very caught up in saying, that person's doing A-levels, they need to go to university, they're really academic. Well, sorry, that's just really patronising and really wrong. Just because someone's intelligent and just because they're academic doesn't mean they have to do A-levels and go to university. You can be intelligent and go out into the world of work and work your way up and end up earning more money than anyone who goes to university and gets a degree and a job after that. And it's not necessarily about money either. It's about what you want to do and what your goals and ambitions are. Your ambition might be that you want to give something back to society. You want to go into maybe a caring role or nursing or whatever. But you just need to keep an open mind, understand that whatever it is you decide to commit to, whether it's an apprenticeship, apprenticeships are really good now as well. There was a lot of snobbery about them years ago. That they're fantastic nowadays. So whether it's an apprenticeship or it's a degree, or you just go out and get a job and you work your way up and you develop your skills as you go, whatever it is, it's about taking personal responsibility for your personal development, reading as much as possible. If you're not very good at reading, you struggle with that, listening to audiobooks. Audible is absolutely fantastic for that. The best thing I ever did was download Audible. I listen to so many books now. I've always read quite a lot, but if I include the number of books that I listen to, I must get through 80-90 books a year now, which is twice or more what I used to get through, because I just have so much more time to listen to audiobooks than I do to sit down and read. It's a fantastic way of getting positive information into your head. There's TED Talks and things on YouTube. There's loads of good information, positive information, motivating and inspiring. And I just want young people to understand that you don't have to go down that one route, and you don't have to be academic or not academic. You don't have to define yourself by those really limited beliefs and traditions. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm doing quite a lot of careers work just recently, and I'm realising more as I sort of work in the field specifically and go into schools, that even the people who are good at careers advice still kind of fall prey to those kind of traditions to a certain extent. And we really need to be getting it into kids' heads that it's about taking your own personal responsibility for things and continuing learning when you leave school. But you don't have to dread that. When I left school, I thought, brilliant, I'm away from learning, I don't need to learn anymore. I was very naive. You always need to keep learning if you want to keep improving. But the difference is, once you've left school, you can decide what it is you want to learn, where it is you want to go. So basically, people just need to understand, or children just need to understand, that if they've got ambition, that's absolutely fine. Stick with that ambition, stick with that dream. Don't bring your standards down. Stick with whatever your dream is, but just accept that it's going to take a little bit of doing along the way, potentially. You might have a few jobs that aren't particularly great to begin with, but you develop the skills that you need to get to that dream job, or that dream, maybe work for yourself, start your own business or whatever. No one ever talks about working for yourself either. That's never even considered as being an entrepreneur, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's one of the most freeing, fantastic things you can do, is working for yourself, but that's never encouraged. And there are so many kids who aren't particularly academic who could be fantastic entrepreneurs. So I just want to get that message out there. I just want people to understand, and children in particular, to understand that you can have those ambitions. You don't need to have it knocked out of you and brainwashed out of you. Stick with your ambitions, but just understand that you have to put the work in over time. You might have to get a few jobs that you don't particularly like to begin with, or that don't pay as much as you want to begin with, but actually if you just keep at it and keep positive and just keep sort of developing your own skills, develop your speaking skills, your communication skills, your timeliness, your teamwork, and you'll start to understand what you're good at, what you're not so good at, and then you've got a much better idea of where you want to go. And yeah, so I'm going to keep banging on about this for a long time because it's something I feel really passionate about, and the message needs to get out there because it's really quite poor at the minute.